sometimes dispatch up. Can you talk about the move to the park? Is that going to change anything with the venue?
It's a great opportunity when you look and you see what's going on progress-wise in terms of our indoor, because of the building and the steel that's going up. The park kind of presents an opportunity for us to have some practices that won't have any logistic issues as it may pertain to the field, to the indoor. We've had 7-on-7 pass scale tournaments at the park. We're looking for other places, other sites to practice where you have the full two full 100-yard fields, and like I said, we had 30-something 40 teams at a 7-on-7 tournament, and the park is an ideal place now to take the whole operation for the first 5-6 practices, and kind of have the same feel we had at the McHugh Center. We will also practice at the McHugh Center and the lower field. It has a little bit of challenges to it, but for me, being able to take practices or do practices at different places, it's like going on an away game basically. You got to go to a different field and adjust to the field there. We traveled all over the state and did the practices, going away. You have to adjust to different things. It's an adjustment for us, but the great thing about it, you can look and you can see progress, and that's the indoor facility going up. I believe, Doug, that's your question, Mike? Did I answer your question? Okay. I believe that February, mid-February, January, that it should be up and complete.
At what point will you be able to use both those fields again?
Well, hopefully when it's completed, and we're talking in February, January, perhaps maybe getting ready for a bowl game or something like that. So. When it's going to be ready for spring practice, that's for sure.
But I mean, the fields that are out there, how much availability will they have, the two fields outside of the McHugh Center?
The fields that we're going to use for practice now, what we're going to use is the left side closest to the McHugh Center. That's making one full 100-yard field, and then. As the indoor goes up, obviously we can't use that, but then we will go down on the bottom field, where's the lacrosse field, and it's about maybe 80 to 90-yard field that will have goal posts and things like that. So we'll still be able to conduct our practices. The biggest thing about having two adjacent fields was just the transition from offense to defense and periods that we do was was quicker and much easier. Just a little bit of a challenge is going from the upper field down to the lower field, but. Things have been put in place. Steps will be added. There's lighting that the field has now there, and so we'll just have to adjust as it goes on. But I believe those are the spaces we'll use during the season.
Mike, Virginia received 9 points in the USA Today coaches poll yesterday. Did you contribute to those 9 points?
No. The thing I can say about that is. In my vote last year, the team that I voted for was in the national championship. That's, I won't tell you what team that is, but it's again, kind of Dave. Our feeling is that it's an exciting year for us. We're not going to sneak up on anybody. Our young players are excited to play. The guys that are coming back are excited to play, and we talk about it all the time. It's where you end in the end of the season instead of the beginning. So I won't let anybody read that.
So you did, just to be clear, you did not vote for Virginia in the top 25?
I did not vote for our team to be in the top 25. Well, we have to earn that.
You've got some openings in the secondary this year. There are guys you're looking to fill those spots with.
It's when you look at our secondary now, obviously you miss Rodney McLeod, who's a great player for us in NFL camp. Chase Minifield. You look at Trey Nicholson now, who'll be a true sophomore, will be kind of the veteran of the group. But we feel really good about Brandon Phelps, Draquan Hosky, Anthony Harris. I mean, those are all candidates, guys that played last year in their special teams roles, their full phase special teams role. They played in college football games, they were like third team or backups to some guys that were playing, in every down situations. But now our team is at a point now where those guys that played, I think we were 7th in the country last year with the amount of true freshmen playing. They got a lot of special teams experience. They had some reps in games. Now those guys are going to be the guys that have to play the scrimmage plays, have to play the first and third down nickel packages, have to play, fourth down situations. So we're at that point back there in the back end there with those players that are playing. But we're, again, I think talent-wise, they have the skill and the talent-wise to do it. It's just what's missing is the experience of playing, defensive back, in a game, and they'll get it early on, and I'm sure that that'll be something that we'll be paying close attention to.
Mike, how ticklish of a situation is it to have a guy like Michael who's kind of established himself as a team leader? Everyone is praising him like crazy at the spring game and stuff, and to then bring in a guy like Phillip and just have to kind of adjust and I don't know, just work him in and it kind of maybe changes roles or throws question marks into things?
No, Michael and David both knew. I've talked about this before. Both knew that that when it became official that Phillip had an opportunity to come here and enroll and perhaps play right away. They knew that, and I think thank goodness for the maturity level that both of them have and possess. I mean, going on to having played in a college football game and being around our team and knowing our system, and being great teammates. They just said, hey, listen, if Phillip is going to make us better, then we welcome him. But we're also competitive. We also understand that that we want to have these opportunities to play in games, and I think their maturity level put them to another point in their career where they've become leaders. They've been in college football games and they have a voice that they can speak up. And they just said we embrace the opportunity for Phillip to come because that's going to increase the competition, and the competition should make not only them better, but the competition at the right guard position or the corner position, whatever it might be, is going to make those guys better, and they embrace that, and that's where they are this part of their career now.
Is there a scenario where you would use both of them during a game like you did with Watford and Rocco last year?
There could be. It's too hard to tell right now. With Monday being our first practice, the first opportunity to see, how well, both Michael and David have improved, to see where Phillip is in terms of his skill. I mean, you have to understand that Phillip came to school, got right into to summer school, taking classes. We weren't allowed to assess his athletic ability, in any way, but we could keep tabs on him from an academic standpoint, and we know he's very capable academically. He's proven that with the grades that he's gotten in the summer school. But now, Monday will be the first opportunity for us to assess, where he is, and I would say, Mike, by, hopefully, a couple practices or as we start planning, is to where he is, to where his knowledge, his skill level is, and the biggest thing with our quarterbacks is the decision-making opportunities and abilities, and that's always a key thing. We just have to see, where Phillip is in learning our scheme, our concepts, our terminology, and all that.
Are there any players who will be unable to practice Monday for whatever reason? Injuries, grades, whatever?
I tell you what, Doug, I don't know for sure as far as who will be held out. I mean, I know that unfortunately, Marco Jones, one of our young defensive linemen, kind of tweaked, a lower leg injury. He's yet to get an MRI, and until I get information on him and his status, I couldn't speak to that. But I don't. It's probably that he will not practice on Monday. Everyone else, guys that had those surgeries after our last game, after spring practice, they should be back. They should be healthy. Luke Bowenko, Sean Cascarano, guys that had those surgeries that kept them from participating in spring practice. We should be about as 100%, first practice than we've been in a long time.
Like, you don't have much of a proven pass rush coming back with Cam and Mac gone. You do have a few guys that were proven pass rush Just wondering if you have, I don't know, do you feel like you'll have to rely on him maybe coming, you know, into the game off the bench in pass rush situations, and maybe not exactly reinventing the wheel or anything like that, if there's situations where you could get Romero or Reynolds in on zone blitzes and things like that to create a pass rush?
Yeah, it's a good question, but I don't want to rely on an incoming freshman to be, to be the guy, to be that hope. I think what I am excited about is that Billy Schatz is back. He was one of those guys. If you remember, he broke his lower leg in the Florida State game. He's back. He's 100%. He's stronger. He's faster. He's ready to go. Asar Walcott. We talked a couple years ago, the safety move to linebacker to defensive end. He is. This is his last year. He's healthy. He's ready to go. Jake Snyder. So I think that obviously a lot of these incoming freshmen have a skill level and a talent that spoke to their abilities playing high school. It's always that next level jump when you have to rush against probably a fifth year or senior offensive lineman that how well you could do that. But there is a skill set that Eli has, that Michael Moore has, that that these guys that are here now that they have, that we're going to try to find out early, what they can do, what they're limited to, and I think if you look at our team, we probably have more skill position guys, DB, wide receivers, safeties, that have a quicker opportunity to play than say a down guy, an inside guy, because I've said people say, and I've said that the biggest difference is just the strength level, of when you bring a lineman in, or offensive lineman, or defensive tackle. So I think there'll probably be more skilled guys that have a chance to play, make an immediate impact, with this team this year than some of those interior guys. But we'll find that out again soon. The first two practices are helmeted practices. Then the second two are shells, and then the fifth one will be full pad. So we'll see as we go along, who's risen to the level of expectation about maybe he can't help us play, because we're going to be looking for depth created by some of these young guys that are here, and then we'll also be looking for guys that can get it done. So if it's a pass rush situation on him, then we'll make sure we try to make him successful in that. If Romero or Leroy Reynolds, if we have to do something in terms of calls to ramp up our pass rush situation, then we'll do that. But absent of seeing, I think there's 31 incoming guys, and that's a lot for a team. You have 31 guys to evaluate, some more than others, but to get a chance to evaluate them during these practices early, when we get answers with that, then I'll be able to talk to you better about the roles.
Mike, having gone to a bowl last year, how important is it for you to keep that momentum going?
Yeah, it's very important. You look at our schedule. Schedule is tough. I mean, it's challenging. It's some of the road games, particularly TCU and La Tech and Georgia Tech. Very soon, after we play here, and but it is what it is. That's the schedule that we have. But it's important that, and I've said to the players that one of the things that's consistent is you see teams that have gone to bowl games consistently, is that they tend to be pretty good teams year in, year out, because you have those extra practices. Those young guys that didn't play during the season, they get chances to play in practice and get more reps. And I think that for us to continue moving forward in a positive direction, putting ourselves in a position to be considered for bowl game opportunities would be important for the continued development of a team that's still fairly young.
Coach, it's been a little while since UVA's entered camp coming off a season like you guys had last year. Talk about what that does for mindset and confidence entering a training camp, coming off a winning record in a bowl game for this team.
Well, the mindset is you just can't be satisfied for what just happened. I mean, you got a hunger for more. I mean, we should be, and we talked about being a hungry team, when at the end of spring practice, because we got to start all over again. That's our approach, and starting all over in creating the desire and the attitude that we have to prove ourselves again. We have to do well on the road. We have to play well at home. Win the games we're supposed to. So, there's no delusions of grandeur about who we are, what we are. It's just that we're a team that hopefully that's rising to and rising to the level of abilities that going to help us continue to be, as David mentioned, in those bowl games, help us compete for perhaps a chance to play, in our conference for conference championships, to help us be relevant, in the ACC and, in college football. That's our goal, and you address that by your on-the-field performance, by recruiting, in other areas. But that's the ultimate goal, is to continue improving to get to the point where we're consistent every year for a team playing in postseason.
Your monitoring ability, I guess, is pretty limited in the summer and whatever. I'm sure you hear reports of things. What have you heard about how much the commitment of the players in summer drills and in the weight room and that kind of stuff, how much has that, that seems to be where the momentum might have carried over if it was. Have you heard, is it different, has it been different this summer than in the past?
Well, Hank, for compliance reasons, I'm not supposed to know anything about how players are been doing during the off season. So I just say I know they've been working hard, and our captains are pleased about what's going on with the team and the commitment of the team. And that's about all I can speak about the athletic ability and things going on there. Thank you.
Mark Giannotta from the Washington Post. Back to QBs real quick. Do you have a time frame in mind when you'd like to have a starter named heading into the season?
Not yet, Mark. No, I mean, that's way too early right now. Like I said, we're trying to assess the abilities of not only where Michael and David have improved, but to see where Phillip is as well. So our practices are constructed that, perhaps in a 7-on-7, we'll have 2 huddles, get multiple reps to try to service the ability to see these guys under action. So, and we'll be constructive or creative in practice to do those things. But it's too early to say, by what time, without even having seen the first practice or the first throw.
In that regard, what did you learn last year going through, a two-headed kind of quarterback competition that you'll maybe apply this time around differently or maybe the same? What did you learn last year having to sort of go through this, trying to find a quarterback?
You learn that, one, it's always, you try to find what's in the best interest of the team. And, there were points that both, Michael and David played, and then it got to a point of the development of one over the other, and just different scenarios. And, you learn it after a while, you pick one and you pick a backup because, as we all know, when you go through seasons that, a quarterback getting through a season unscathed is, it's an anomaly a little bit. But I think that, as a team, our team, particularly the 2 that have played, understand the scheme, understand the overall philosophy of our offense. And now it's we have to do a good job of deciding and evaluating, where Phil's level is, as it pertains to knowing what the offense is and what we have to do. He's confident. Michael and David are confident, and probably the biggest thing, the players that we have are confident in our quarterback position the first time in a while.
Bougie and Moses have gotten, at least from some of the preseason publications, have gotten a lot of attention as sort of one of the better tackle duos in the country. With the weight that Morgan has lost, and I know O'Day's gotten some preseason love on the conference level anyway, do you feel that they're, I know you take these preseason accolades, I'm sure like most coaches, with a huge grain of salt, but do you think that they're deserving of this kind of attention at this stage in their career, kind of sort of headed into this year, or is the jury still out in your mind a little more?
No, I think that the preseason accolades that they have been mentioned on is deserving. I think the thing that motivated Morgan was his first year. I think he was an All-American, and then last season basically I don't know what happened in terms of postseason or preseason awards, but I know he cut a lot of weight. I know that he's probably as strong as he's ever been. I know he's still big and still growing, and I think that he's matured a lot also. And so I think he takes the point that Virginia offensive linemen have done well here going on to the next level. And I think that he's ramped up his preparation, his mindset, his approach, you know, to conditioning, to what he puts in his body. And so I think he's taken a lot of that to heart because, you know, he knows that he has to do a better job than what he did last year. You know, O'Day, I think he's one of the toughest, grittiest, rugged guys, you know, that I've known, you know, in playing, in coaching. And he's another offensive tackle in a long line of offensive tackles that have done well here. And to have two of them on the same team at the same time playing opposite each other, you could flip them because Mo could play left, O'Day could play right. And in fact, they did do that at one parts of their career here. So it's always good to have those guys on the anchor, on the edge, because that's where a lot of pressure comes from. And so it's good to have two guys that have game-tested experience.
With that, we're going to cut Coach loose so we can get Coach Laser up here. Again, reminder, Coach London will be
Thank
down
you,
at the
guys.
practice fields around